Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, you cheeky so-and-so. Let's crack on with today's first story. Now, today's first story comes from Gina's Dunn, who says, am I the arsehole for kicking out my boyfriend's homeless friend? So my female 22, boyfriend 24, has this friend, female 25, who moved in 4 months because she had nowhere to go. Now I didn't mind her as long as she respects our boundaries and the rules around the house, but that's definitely not it. She is very loud, comments on everything and just does inappropriate stuff in general and excuses it for being a Latina. And that's just how they are. She doesn't help at all besides maybe cooking sometimes, but doesn't clean up the mess she makes, and she invites people over whenever she wants. She changes in the living room in front of us, literally took off her underwear. And I asked her to change in her room, but her excuse is that she was trying to feel like home, and then she suggested I should too, as it will strengthen my bond with my boyfriend. I talked to my boyfriend about how I'm kind of uncomfortable with this whole situation, and he told me not to overthink about it and that she's just very unbothered and cool. She always interrupted our time together and would sit between me and him during a movie or take my space while I take a toilet break. She cuddled him in the most unfriendly way. When I asked jokingly if she was trying to take my man, she would excuse it on her ethnicity, and that's how they grew up, so I knew I had to ruin this Friday night they had for them. I went up to them and she was all over him as usual. I called my boyfriend, and when he was about to get up, she said how it was their favorite part and that he could leave later. I insisted, but she kept pulling him, so I went and pulled him into our room. Discussed what she's doing is really upsetting and I no longer want her living with us. And he agreed I had the right, but that she has nowhere to go, and that I have to wait until she finds a job, which she's not even trying to get. While talking, she came and tried to open the door, which was locked, so she started knocking and we just ignored her until it got louder, and he asked her to leave. But she got louder and then started saying how I ruined the only time that she gets with him, which obviously is not the case. I had enough at that point, but my boyfriend suggested he talks to her first, so he went and they took too long, like almost 2 hours. And I went to check on them and heard her telling him he shouldn't accept someone who ruins a friendship as a partner, and that is a big red flag, and that he should kick me out. But this place is actually my property that I inherited from my aunt, and at that point I knew I had to kick her out. I didn't even ask with what conclusion they came up with and waited in the living room until they came out. And I just told her to look for another place and gave her 2 weeks max. She's been crying since yesterday, refusing to eat and not coming out of the room, and my boyfriend is saying I went overboard and I just hit a sensitive spot of hers, basically telling her to leave when she has no family or anywhere to go. So, am I the arsehole? Nah, I can immediately say this is not the arsehole from me. I'm wondering even if you have to give her 2 weeks to get out and maybe given even less. She was trying to get you kicked out of your own house, which obviously she didn't realize it was yours. And she's clearly trying stuff on with your boyfriend the way she's acting, like basically having dates with him right in front of you. He doesn't really seem to be stopping the behavior either, somewhat, and it may be unfair of me to say this, enabling it, telling you that you're going overboard with stuff, and he had talked to her, but it was 2 hours and he was talking, and then you overheard her saying, you know, maybe you should kick your girlfriend out. She's the one that's trying to like ruin our friendship, so maybe get rid of her and then we can live. And she's taking her underwear off in the living room. I mean, holy shit, that must be uncomfortable. I'd be like, girl, you put your kecks back on. I'm trying to watch Breaking Bad here. Holy moly. But Sailor Chibi says not the arsehole, but you don't have a homeless friend problem. You've a boyfriend problem. Bad Panda Cat says not the arsehole, kick her out immediately and seriously consider having your boyfriend join her. His lack of respect for you by failing to keep his friend in line is a major marinara banner. Gretel No Hands replies that and says also as a Latina, it's all BS. We're not raised to be bad guests. The opposite. We're also not raised to be inappropriate like she's being. She's just an arsehole plus a liar. Latinos always have somewhere to go. Tias, primas, second primas, comadre, I could keep going. Give her 1 week tops. I'm Grande replies saying, put it another way. If a Latina has burnt literally all the bridges back to the La Familia, that's the only time she should be in this situation. Familia doesn't walk away from their own very easily, and the kind of person who goes far enough that the whole familia closes their doors to them is not the sort of person you want to be around. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing familia wrong. I did Google it. I can't say it. I'm really struggling. I keep wanting to say familia. Love Dove Bunny says, not the arsehole. Don't feel bad for kicking her out. She clearly didn't respect you, your relationship and your home. Your boyfriend is an arsehole for allowing her to flirt and cuddle him. I bet he loved the extra attention. You have a boyfriend issue on your hands. It wouldn't surprise me if they were hooking up behind your back. And one more from No Roll who says, girl, she has a thing for your boyfriend. That's not a Latina thing, the thing she said. And I have Latina friends, male and female, and let me tell you, if someone did that crap to them, no. She's definitely after your man. He's an idiot for not seeing it, but I think he sees it a little and he's been making excuses for her. He doesn't want to hurt her feelings, but I think he's now realizing it's a problem. Which means he's got a heart, but again, you're his girlfriend, and if he wants to continue to be with you, then he needs to let her go, because right now, he's disrespecting you. I think you have been super supportive letting another woman move in temporarily. Don't let her stay. She is procrastinating on finding a job on purpose and using his kindness and yours. Then OP updates the post, which says, thank you everyone for the advice and helping me open my eyes on the real issue. It was past midnight when I posted that, and my life literally took a 180 in less than 24 hours. It's been overwhelming and I didn't expect this would reach many people. The comments were like a slap in the face I really needed. Apparently I was too blind. Yeah, my boyfriend isn't who I thought he was. He's been trying to give her food, tried to calm her down, and literally took a day off from college and work. He goes on Sundays too, which he never did for me, and he never even gets days off from his classes unless really necessary, with proof, nursing. I don't know how he managed to get a day off. I really wanted to make sure it is what it looks like before deciding my next move. I prepared lunch way before time and asked him if he was around for lunch, and his response, I'm trying to get her to have breakfast and you're talking about lunch. You are becoming unrecognizable. Yeah, I didn't know what to reply, so just asked again, but he said we can have lunch together if she's willing to join us, as it is rude to eat without her. At this point I felt like shit, to be honest, and asked him why she was so important, that he cancelled all his plans just to support her emotionally, which he never did when I went through things myself, but he just left like that. I invited my guy friend over, which he doesn't like, and I explained to him our situation and just asked him to be comfortable. I didn't want to do the cuddling stuff like them because we didn't break up yet at that point, and it was weird anyways because we don't usually. My boyfriend never realized someone was over until he came to take food, and he saw us having lunch together, and he just gave me a look, said hi, and was going to take some for themselves until he realized it was a creamy rice casserole, which his friend doesn't like, and yeah, I did that on purpose. And chicken roast with some sides, and he literally glared at me and said, you know she doesn't eat that. And I just replied, well, it's not her who I made this for. Then he threw the plate, started shouting, asking what the fuck was wrong with me, and that he wishes he never dated me. It was so scary. My friend got involved and they got aggressive, and I just asked him to leave with his other girlfriend, which he replied with, oh, so you're replacing me that fast? But I told him he was the one who has replaced me a long time ago, but I was too dumb to realize. He actually moved in fully when his friend came, and colleges here do provide dorms, but of course it's not like she can live with him, and I couldn't care less anymore. Also, no legal action is required for someone you haven't signed papers with where I live. They would just guess. I packed his things for him, which aren't a lot, and left it by the front door. He came crying and apologizing and acknowledging what he did was wrong, and just other bullshit I didn't want to hear because the damage was already done. My friend was of great support, and he dealt with everything else as I cried my eyes out in my room. And that sums up how I went through my first heartbreak, and it was my first relationship, and I did love him, but I guess I can watch, eat, and do anything now without catering to anyone's needs. I'm changing the locks tomorrow morning, and we're ordering fried chicken. Apparently a proven heartbreak remedy by my friend. And although her excuse was bringing up her race, I know better than that. Thank you all for the support. I love the fact that the end of this one, when, he finally realized that he was being kicked out, he came crying and apologizing and acknowledging what he did was wrong. Just realizing that his free ride has been taken away from him. But there was also a lot of comments below the update as well, the new comments, and it was saying like, yeah, he was definitely sleeping with her. There was definitely something more going on, and you know, the behavior of him certainly indicates it that way. But who knows truly, I guess. What do you guys make of this one? Do you think there was a lot more going on? How would you have dealt with the situation if you was OP? I still can't get over the first part of the story, and I know it's not the be all and end all of the story if you know what I mean, but like when it said that she just takes her underwear off in the middle of the living room just because she wants to feel like at home, like, ah, yes. It's like, what the hell? Who does that? I mean, was they just going to sit there naked and watch the TV in the living room? I mean, hell no, you're not putting your bare ass on my sofa. And obviously I didn't know if it was the bra, the pants or whatever, or both. Who knows? Just weird as shit. But what do you guys make of this one? What would you do in it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And our next story comes from Throwaway Account, who asks, my 53 female ex-husband's daughter announced she's getting married. What should I do with their family's heirloom ring? My ex-husband and I married too young. It was a classic white wedding with vows and the tradition of passing down a family ring. My ex was given his great-grandmother's wedding ring to give to me on our wedding day. We had a wonderful start, but we both really weren't ready to settle. He cheated on me and my drinking turned into alcoholism. We divorced and the ring was never really discussed, so I've kept it all this time. We married at 19 and divorced by 22. Luckily, we didn't have kids. We went our separate ways. He found someone and remarried and had a girl and a boy. My journey has been harder. Alcoholism took many things from me, but I kept the old wedding ring. Never pawned, traded, or lost it. Even during some really dark times. Even though my marriage ended, it was like a memory of a better time. I've gotten clean and so far I'm on a long winning streak getting my life put back together. Through the gossip lines I found out my ex is still married and his daughter, their oldest, just got engaged. I still have his great-grandmother's ring. He had talked with me before we even married how he wanted to pass it down to his daughter one day. We haven't talked once after all these years. I don't know if he still wants his daughter to have this ring. Maybe he's forgotten about it. I feel conflicted what to do. It wasn't a good ending. We were so young and stupid and mutually overly entitled. Should I get in touch or let sleeping dogs lie? Mail it as a wedding gift with a card anonymously or say it's from me? Now, first I want to say, and hopefully it doesn't come across in a patronizing way because I really don't mean it, but a huge well done for, getting clean and being on that winning streak and getting your life back together. I think that's just a wonderful thing. I just think that's absolutely amazing. And another amazing thing I think about this post is that you actually thinking about his daughter and thinking about what he wanted for his daughter as well, even though after what you went through with the cheating, etc. You said that you got married young and it probably wasn't a good idea, etc., etc. You still don't deserve to be cheated on at all. So for you to be looking at this ring and thinking about what you guys talked about in the past, I think is a really nice thing from you. And whilst I don't think you have to give back this ring at all, I think it would be an incredibly kind thing to do for the daughter. And maybe I may be just reading too much into the post here, may bring you some additional peace as well. But Arapt2Right says, be an angel. Be a complete, wonderful angel and send him the ring with a little note that says that you remember how he had hoped to give this ring to his own child and that you wish him and the young couple every happiness. You have no legal obligation, of course, and really no moral imperative, but we don't get that many chances in life to give someone as much joy in a single gesture as you would by putting that ring back into his family line. Wandering Rose 07 says, get in touch and ask if he wants it for his daughter. I may be biased as I'm a pretty sentimental person, but if it was my family heirloom, I would want it back. Even if the bride doesn't want it. I think your post mentioned that he had multiple children. One of them may want it for a future wedding. Opie replies saying, yes, he has a younger son, so maybe one day for his wedding if not his daughter's. I think I should give it back, but should I do it in a delicate or special way? South Coast Bloke says, no contact after all these years, but when you hear his daughter is getting married, your first thought is, should I contact him to give the ring back for his daughter? You are an incredibly thoughtful person, and that is an extremely kind thing to do. especially considering him and his family haven't contacted you about it. Whatever you decide, I want you to know that this random bloke on Reddit thinks you are a legend. Dobby the Free Elf 9 says, first of all, amazing that you're getting your life back together. It must have been a hell of a ride. Sending it anonymously sounds a bit stupid, to be honest, because he will definitely know that you sent it. I mean, who else would have it and know it was his? You really show a lot of sympathy and courage, even considering giving it back. Like really, I know a lot of people that would not think of that or hold too much of a grudge. This is my opinion, but I would say give it back. I'm sure his daughter would be really happy to get married with it. I would, also personally, not mail it since it has too much of a value to get lost in there. I would say just get in touch and maybe, if this is an option, meet him in person to hand it over. That too will give you some closure about the whole thing. So then OP edited the post in response to the comments and they said, edit, thank you for all your kindness. I will definitely get in touch with him and let him decide where we go from there. Hopefully he'll want to meet face to face. It would be nice to see him after all this time. I'll keep this account up and we'll give an update if anything happens. So then we move on to the update. So, small recap. My ex-husband and I exchanged wedding vows and I was given his great-grandmother's wedding ring. We divorced, his cheating, my drinking, and the ring was never discussed, and I ended up saving it as a keepsake all these years as a memory of another life I once had. I'm clean now for a long while, and I recently spoke with a friend who knows of my ex's family and brought up how his daughter recently got engaged. I immediately thought of the ring. It was to be passed down to our daughter if we had children. This being a family heirloom, it compelled me to return it, even though it's been decades since my ex and I last spoke, and not even sure he'd want it back. After posting here for advice, I decided I need to do this for his family. I had the ring professionally cleaned at a jeweler and given a pretty box to put it in. While I was there, I took the advice of one commenter and ordered myself a ring. Instead of an inset diamond, I gave mine a ruby. It was my grandmother's name and she never gave up on me, and it seemed fitting considering the other ring belonged to a great-grandmother. I decided to have maybe a cliche engraving of the word forward, because that's how I've made it here and to where I am now, by moving forward. My ex lives about 2 hours into town and I had a girlfriend come with me. First we drove by and there weren't any cars, so we grabbed lunch and tried again. This time, someone was home. I decided to leave things be. I had my friend go up to the door and knock. I saw him open the door. She handed him the package and pretty much headed straight back to the car. He didn't say much, she told me. Seemed a bit confused, but thanked her and that was it. I didn't get to see if it made him happy or if he called his mother saying the ring found its way home. I imagine him beaming while explaining the ring to his wife as he passes it to his daughter. It is fun to imagine. I also imagine a lot of crying and hugging, but that's probably going too far. I had a note with it. I wrote almost exactly what a commenter suggested. It's been an honor and privilege to be a part of the history of this ring. Please accept it back with best wishes to your family and to your daughter's engagement. In a way, I kinda like not knowing how everyone reacted. I can daydream about it, my own fairy tale. I didn't include any way to contact me, just my name. I found him and feel if he wants to, he'll find me, but I don't see much point. Our time was short and it ended, and this is probably the best closure I never expected. It makes my heart lighter. Thank you all for helping and sharing this with me. Oh dearie me, those bloody onion ninjas again. They're all over the place. And I found this a nice story. I mean, usually in the Reddit lines, that heirloom ring, all sorts of stuff would have happened to it, loads of drama, but it was just a nice story of accepting about them marrying too young and, you know, they weren't ready to settle and all this kind of stuff. No blame, and then OP looking back with a ring and just, you know, what a heart OP has. That's all I can really say. But what do you guys make of this one? I mean, I would have loved to have known the family's reaction to it, but I like OP's little fairy tale, as they said, story as well. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today, getting involved in the stories, the comments, showing your love, not just towards me and the channel, but towards each other, towards the OPs and the stories as well. It really does mean the world. So thank you so much. And if you'd like to listen to more Reddit stories, there'll be a couple of playlists at the very end of the video for you to click on, and it'll automatically scroll through all the videos for you. So whatever you're doing, and as always, don't forget to let me know, it will scroll through them as you're doing it. Anyway, thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you soon. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day.